identification. So when you go there, there's a 2.5-minute video at the top. Every one of our affiliates has this. It's just that my video is on all of theirs. And it's just a 2.5-minute video that explains the postcard program. And on the surface, we send unlimited oh, I'm getting a lot of background noise. And can you guys mute? Do you mind? Thanks. Unlimited photo postcards, stamps included, send anywhere in the world. But if you click this Learn More button, it takes you to another place, which really goes through. Did this take me to the right place? Hold on. Oh yeah. So it goes through, like, specifically the kinds of things we do is we help people improve the connections that they have with their community, with people they know, with people they don't know. It's a way of creating influence. It's a way of staying top of mind. So it's really a marketing company. It helps people to develop their business. And that's really what it's, but the mechanism is send out cards. And as you go through here, it goes through a lot of the benefits, creates better connections with others, increases your circle of influence, builds the foundation for relationship marketing. It gives them an opportunity to send a free card. And then it has the value proposition as you go through. And this is it's a long sales page. It's got a demo of how the cards are sent. Once you hit the send button, it's just a 1-minute video that shows how the cards are created. And it goes over the photo postcard program. And so I wanted to show you this. This is just from the website. So there's a lot more to what we do than just send cards. Cards are the mechanism. That is just the feature. The benefits are more about helping people develop their business and grow their business and get more referrals and make better connections and build more influence and all that kind of stuff. So, and my 64th birthday is in 3 weeks, and it happens to fall on the day of our meeting. And I will be there. I'm planning on flying in that day. And I've learned a lot over the years, and I want to share one particular lesson with you, maybe two, depending on how much time we have. And this is one that it was kind of an unexpected benefit. The lesson was, but it had a huge cost. And it's something that I think can benefit any business person. And so I'm going to share it with you. Professional athletes, entertainers, a lot of people that, and also, like musical entertainers, but also actors and actresses. What happens is if they become very successful, they start making a lot of money. And then because they're making a lot of money, they think they're really smart. And so they get lots of requests or lots of interest in their money. In other words, would you give me money to invest in this project? Would you give me money to help me finance this company that I'm starting? And so they're getting all these requests for money, and because they're making money, they think they're smart. And so what they do is they start investing their money, and then 10 years later, 15 years later, 20 years later, they're broke. And this happens a lot. They end up filing bankruptcy. Professional athletes, it happens to. It's notorious because they're not investors. They're professional athletes. They're not investors. They're entertainers. Well, when I had been in business for 10 years, never made a penny in business. I had a job. I worked for America West Airlines, and I was dabbling in all these different businesses, and I never made one penny. Everything I invested in, I lost money at. And then in 1992, I joined a network marketing company, which was a telecom network marketing company. And in that company, I finally figured some things out, simple things, really simple things, like how to invite somebody to take a look at a business, how to present. And I got, opportunities I started growing a team and building a very large customer base back in between 1992 and 2004. And I built an organization that had 250,000 customers in another company, not this one. And I started making a lot of money, millions of dollars. And my profit over the course of about 8 years was $4 million, my profit. And I had a lifestyle. I was traveling all over the world, private jet travel. I had multiple homes, I had cars, and my profit was 4 million. And because I was making money, I thought I was smart. And when you start making money, everybody comes to you. and says, Jordan, would you invest in this nightclub? Would you invest in this real estate partnership? And so because you're smart, you start throwing 40,000 here and 100,000 there. And there's a lesson in all this, by the way. And over the course of the next 4 years or so, I actually invested $4 million in about 40 different projects, different levels. And when it was all said and done, guess how much money I had from that $4 million in investments? 40 companies, 40 opportunities, anywhere from $25,000 up to $250,000. A nutritional company, a nightclub, movies, a couple of movies. Guess how much I had after it was all said and done?
$1,000.
Zero. I lost every penny of that $4 million. And I had read a book years ago that I remembered. I probably read it more than once, called The Richest Man in Babylon, where they talk about paying yourself first. If I had just taken 10% of every check that I made and didn't do all that stuff, like that's what happens. And you guys might have even experienced this. When you start making a lot of money, everybody comes to you with their ideas. I get asked almost daily for money from people. Today, I got a text message from a guy I haven't talked to in a long time. He wanted $22,000, not for a business, but to buy a Porsche, because his finance company wouldn't finance the whole amount. He needed an additional $22,000. And when people think you're making money, whether you're making it or not, when people think you're making it, you get lots and lots of requests for money. And a lot of them are businesses, and a lot of them come from friends. Good ideas, really good ideas. Like, I'm going to get really, really rich in this idea. Crypto is a perfect example of that. There's huge opportunity there, but I've learned that almost every time I listen to a friend that says you should invest here, and I do it because it sounds really great, I lose that money. And if I just listened to the advice in Richest Man in Babylon and just said, you know what, I'm going to take 10% of every check, and I'm going to invest with a guy like Ben Fredlake, and I'm just going to put 10% away of every check I make, whether it's $100, $1,000, $10,000, $100,000, 10% of it is going there, and I'm never going to touch it no matter what. No matter how bad the emergency is, I'm never going to touch that money. If I had done that, I figured out, this was a few years ago, I figured out, like this was probably 8 years ago, I figured out I would have had an additional $20 million if I had just done that. Instead, I lost $4 million. So when I started working with send-out cards, I changed my strategy. I still do the speculative stuff, but I have a small percentage of my portfolio that I do that with, and I keep losing that money. I'm really good at it, losing that money. I don't know what it is, but every one of these projects I invest in, I lose the money. It's so easy to make money right now. But that money that I put away every month, that continues to grow. And it's been growing for 8 years now. And I take 10% of my money every single month. Actually, it's more than 10% now, every single month, and put that away. So that was one lesson that I learned. Are there any questions on any of that? It's pretty straightforward. Any thoughts, Debbie?
It's funny because I was just actually talking to Tim about that like a day ago, just trying to understand like this crypto thing it's just funny that you said that, and he said the same thing. So coming from two amazing, what's that?
Tim Hilcoff?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, if you want to do speculative stuff, but just understand that when you do crypto, when you invest in crypto today, I don't care what platform you're on, it's like going to the casino.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. He's like, just take it and put it to 10%, like you said. And so it was funny that you just said that too. Yeah. He's like, well, you guys are smart. That's what my takeaway is.
Yeah. I wish I had taken the lesson, honestly, when I was younger. Like, I wish I'd taken it when I was younger. And I've done okay, but my point is that my situation would be even way better if I'd taken it. So the second thing, and this applies to all businesses, and it's not something that everybody chooses to do, but it's an opportunity. And I am fortunate that I did this when I was in my 20s and 30s and 40s, is that, and it doesn't matter what business you're in. I've talked to Karin about this before. It doesn't matter if you're in a traditional business or a network marketing business or any other type of business. The freedom, if you're looking for freedom in your life, you need to come up with a system that will allow your business to grow without you. And that can be done in any business. It can be done in health and fitness. It can be done in the flower business. It can be done in a traditional brick and mortar, storefront type business, there's a way to do it. But if it involves your hands, you'll never have true freedom. If that's what you're looking for. Some people aren't looking for that. But when I was in my 20s, I made it. That's what my book Beach Money is about. When I was in my 20s, I made a decision that I was going to, even though I had a job to pay my bills, wasn't paying me much money. In fact, it was hard for me to pay my bills because my income was so low. My income was under 30 grand a year until I was 34 years old. I made under $30,000 a year. When I was 34, I was living in an enclosed garage in Tempe, 505 West 16th Street, right? Kind of in the neighborhood across from Gamage. I lived in an enclosed garage. There were 2 roommates that I had living in the house, not in the garage with me, but in the house. I had $36,000 in credit card debt on 22 credit cards, $36,000 in debt on 22 credit cards. And my job at America West Airlines had just cut my pay in half from $28,000 a year to $14,000 a year. And I was 34 years old. And I had a broken down Jeep that was sitting in the street that had not been running for 2 years. So I didn't even have a running car at the age of 34 years old. And I'd made a decision 10 years prior to that I was going to align myself with opportunities that threw off passive income. And again, this can be done in any business. It's just systems. And there are people, for example, Kevin, in your business, you probably know this, that are fitness and health experts, and they've developed systems so that the business runs and builds itself. And there's education out there that can teach you to do that. So I decided to align myself with opportunities that created passive income. So if you set an objective, if you said for the next 10 years, I'm going to hone my business, if you're looking for freedom, if you're looking for a point where you can walk away from your business, unless at some point maybe you sell your business, I don't know. A lot of businesses that are sole proprietorships, it's very difficult to sell because it's so dependent on you. But if at some point you want to walk away from your business and be able to travel for a year or two and your business still runs itself and produces income, it's about looking at systems that don't require you to be involved in the day-to-day operation of the business. And there's so many great trainers out there today that can teach you how to do that. So I'll just stop there. And Beach Money is more conceptual. I know some of you have read it, but Beach Money doesn't specifically teach you how to do it, but it does give you the philosophy and the thought process behind it. So I did that. And the result of that is I have a very, very large 7-figure annual residual income that I don't have to go to work to get. So I don't work for the money. That's another misconception. People think that I'm all about the money. I'm actually that's like a lower priority. Money is a lower priority. It's making a difference in people's lives and contributing in a way that brings a lot of value. That's really where I place my attention. The money is a result. The money is just a byproduct of doing things that bring value to other people. And I still need to get better at it. I'm doing well, and I'm happy about where I'm at, grateful where I'm at, but at the same time, I feel like I can do better. So, but it was an intentional thing. Like I was going to put my ladder against the wall that produced passive income versus putting my ladder, because for 17 years, my ladder was on a wall that didn't produce passive income, but my intention was to get there. And it was a long journey, but I got there. And I haven't had a job now since 1995 is when I left my job, 1995. So I made my first $1 million at the age of 35. So anyway, if financial freedom is something that you're looking for at some point in your career, take a look at what you can do to develop systems around what you're doing so that you can walk away from it someday, or at least take a long break if you want to. And that way too, it protects you from, it's an insurance policy as well, because something happens to you and you can't work, then you still have that income stream because your business runs itself. And it takes 3 to 5 years to get there, 3 to 5 years of focused attention on it, and you're there. So any thoughts?
Am I on? I think that's awesome, Jordan. That gives me hope. I'm 37 and I feel like I'm a little behind. So that's my takeaway is That's
Still
awesome.
time.
And I can't believe you're 64. That's my other one. That's not even
Thank you.
possible.
I feel pretty good most days.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing. I think your story is so amazing, but
Thank you.
learning how to implement that in each one of our things is trying to figure that out.
Anybody else? All right. Well, that's all I have, Karen, for today.
All right. Thank you so much.
Are you using this as like a, like, is this a, like, what are,